6 o'clock, call the meeting to order. You have the budgets in front of you, and if you want to take some time to review them, ask any questions.
Ed, is this, the all department summary, does that include wages?
Yes.
Oh, she even does have it on the department ones, I'm sorry, usually the department ones don't have, it's usually not including wages.
Cindy, legal expenses, I see that's high, yeah.
Yeah. Um, There's been quite a bit going on. We had to call the attorney over the budget committee hearing in January. We had the whole fiasco with the town clerk in February. We've got, two, not lawsuits, but legal matters going through the courts. We're still trying to settle the whole, Cowboys place. Still has someone, yeah.
Is that the one up Kent Point, is that still ongoing?
Sadly it is.
Have they found the surveyor yet?
Chris Rollins remembered doing it,
Yeah.
gave us his opinion, we took that to the attorney and he was supposed to be drafting a letter. The property owners offered a number to buy it back, which was laughing. Yeah, I mean, it was a joke, it wasn't even a real number. And we haven't gotten back to him yet. Or the attorney hasn't gotten back to us to go back and take care of that.
Ambulance department, the little incident that put the ambulance out of
out of commission.
Yes. Have they gone back and,
No. So when the tires were purchased, so in case somebody knows, so the ambulance blew a tire on a run with a patient in the back, twice. 2 different tires, about a week apart. So tires got replaced. There's a discrepancy as to exactly who may or may not be at fault, but within a month, studs were missing. They were on a run, again with a patient in the back, and heard noise and started wobbling and found that there were only 2 studs left on one of the tires that had just been replaced. So what Ed's talking about is, did you go back to them, did we go back to the people who put the tires on and say, hey, what did you do? Did you over tighten them? Did you do something? They basically said they have no responsibility for it because it clearly says on the invoice to check
lots
after 100 miles, and Kathy went and looked and they had been on 7 runs since the tires were purchased. 7 runs to Dartmouth and back. Somebody should have checked them. So we really have no recourse to say they did anything wrong. But the bill came in, just signed it off this morning. It was $1,700.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have they ever decided to stick to one mechanic?
I don't believe they've ever made a decision to stick to one mechanic, or anybody in town hasn't even pushed for that. But I do know that when the ambulance broke down that day, John Bavyars, who normally takes care of most of the maintenance for the ambulance, or at least takes care of carting it to repair shops, got in the Canaan ambulance with the patient to go to Dartmouth. So the driver ended up making the call on where it went and gave them instructions, which what needs to, and hopefully did get straightened out, but I'll find out more tomorrow night at the ambulance meeting, was that no one contacted Kathy Lund. So it needs to be really made clear to the crew that Kathy's the contact person. Nobody else gets to make decisions on which shop it goes to and what you get to tell them what to do.
No, right, I mean, that made 3 different shops that ambulance has been to, and it's like,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, and that was the beauty of having Frank's in town, you know, Frank's knew all our vehicles and they took good care of them. If we didn't bother to tell them something needed to be done, they'd call us and say, hey, bring it in, it's late.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's an advantage of sticking to one mechanic person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It looks like the highway department has no heating fuel left. January through March was $42.97. The budget was $4,000.
I honestly don't remember how that heating fuel budget line item got to be so low. Because knowing where we're at, we should have upped that.
Well, have you looked at the breakdown of it?
Of the fuel,
Uh,
they just turned in today, yeah.
No, I mean,
Tabs on.
on what you have in front of you.
For the heating fuel?
Yeah.
Yeah, one was a repair, and then the other 2 are for fuel itself.
Right, but since when, we've been in, Evans for fuel, we locked in, with Innovo.
No, cause, is it? It's like diesel fuel, it's oil.
Yeah, we locked in with Innovo.
Yeah, we're locked in with Innovative for propane.
In oil for the town hall, the town office and everything. It was supposed to cover everything.
I'm not sure, I'll check. It's been my understanding that Bobby always got the heating fuel.
I know we got, motor fuel,
Yeah. I can check.
because I mean, that could explain some of the reason why it costs so much, because we wouldn't be locked into a fixed price for heating fuel with Evans versus with Innovo, we're locked in at $2.69. I don't know if you've got to it, I had asked back, when we were doing the budget, meetings, about the, salaries for the highway and the, for the road agent and the police chief, where they're set, how was that, because that was, determined that it would be flat salary, not, hourly.
Not the road agent, only police
No,
chief.
highway too, road agent was,
Who decided that was gonna be a salary position?
that was voted on by the taxpayers back when, Johnny Passer was road agent.
We've been paying Bob hourly for.
I know, I brought it to your attention, I know there was a lot going on, but the thing being is, where it was voted on, for the road agent's salary to be, salary, not wages, per hour. The only way it could be changed is by a vote of the people.
But it was.
I know,
I understand what you're saying, but
but it's wrong.
are you honestly suggesting that the selectmen should cut the road agent's salary to whatever it was, whatever year that warrant article passed, when John Bassett was the road agent?
Well, it was given increases over the years. I'm just saying that it should be a salary based on whether the hours that the selectmen considered 40, 45, whatever.
So you're saying because it is now an appointed position, that it should be hourly?
Road agents elect, it is appointed, right.
So does that automatically constitute hourly?
I don't
I would think
know.
that would give us the leeway to pay the wage that we agreed to pay him. I wouldn't,
It's just a question.
okay,
But,
I can't imagine what would happen when there's snowstorms or anything, any kind of storm or out of the ordinary thing.
but the
Oh,
thing,
my 40 hours are up, sorry. I'll take care of that Monday.
no, but the thing being is, the law doesn't state that. It says that you can pay overtime, after they reach a certain amount of hours, you can pay, the overtime. But the thing being, it's in being appointed, where it was, voted on, by the taxpayers, and when the, election came to, vote on it to be appointed, the salary was not discussed, whether it be hourly, to change it from salary to hourly.
Do you know when that,
It was in the 80s.
I can look.
You have a good memory.
That was brought up last year.
Right. That's why there was so much going on, I thought maybe it would have been overlooked because of it at the time. So I just thought I'd bring it up and ask the question again and see what we can come up with.
I'll see what I can find. So you said road agent and police chief at the same time? That was voted in that way?
No, police chief was different. Police chief was after, was when Merle became chief, because before that it was Frank Liberty, he was, I believe, hourly.
Because Russell's changed from hourly to salaried since I've been a selectman, and that wasn't even, there was no warrant articles regarding that.
Yeah, I can't
Okay.
offer what the, so I was.
I just figured rather than go back and redo the search on the police road, if you were asking about both, I'd.
Well, I'm asking about both, but the police chief would have been
Okay.
back in the 2000s. Just to give everybody a little update, after the town meeting and everything, and the new fire chief took over, there was a lot of things discovered that were not being disclosed, so the fire department is in very dire need of stuff. There was things being that should have been taken care of, and there was other things that could have been put on the back burner and wasn't. So just to, so everybody's aware of what transpired and to watch for as time goes on.
What is there for heat at the fire department? I'm sorry, I know I should probably know this by now.
It's,
There's a propane tank there,
there's
right?
a propane tank, but I believe that's for the kitchen and,
Is it just water, heating water?
no, actually, I think it's also for the building.
Oh, and the stove in there,
For the-
yeah, yeah.
For the furnace and
And that's it?
yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't there a problem with the furnace though, that we had gotten some insurance money for?
Right, but they took care of the problem. They really, it was suspected that there was going to be problems then. And Grafton happened to be one of the luckier ones that there was the in-ground heating system in the floor.
Rain.
Yeah,
is what we
and
have.
we ended up being, not having the problem. They got tested professionally by an outfit, and they found that the valves were working all right.
Great, so what happened with all that money?
It's
Was that
in the selectmen's hands, it's been set aside, so it's not being just thrown out in the wind and wasted.
Where does that show up?
It won't show up in your paperwork because it shows up if you pull out your town report, if you look under the trust money,
Oh,
they'll show you a bunch of different trusts that have been set up.
You're referring to
Trust was set up for the money that came from
I don't think that's in
No.
trust.
the radiant heat.
I think it's in the treasurer's report, I think
Right,
it's a
yes.
separate, yeah, it's a separate
It's
section.
in the report, I'm just trying to figure out where it was.
That was several years ago that that one came.
Right,
the treasurer's report? Oh, there it is, page 60.
This looks quite nice and simple.
Mhm. Well, big liars out of us, huh?
That wasn't my intention.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
it's gotta be there.
Okay.
Does it still have to be encumbered?
It wasn't covered for 5 years.
Yeah. I think we have till the end of 2023.
Is it there?
Is it 23? Yeah.
It's gotta be right around.
It's coming, yeah. Yeah, I think we have one more year after this year. It's not there, is it?
I mean,
It's gotta be somewhere.
maybe a general fund.
No, it can't be in the general fund.
Nope. No, yeah. We didn't make that much off the auction. That might be it, that sounds like it might be about the right number, 127, 211, 127,000?
In the general fund?
No, that's, from that
Seven.
insurance money,
That,
that might be how much
Sounds-
was left, that
yeah.
sounds about right,
yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was more around.
It's there, it's just mislabeled.
I thought it was around 110. There's a number that.
Yeah, I like 119 in my head too.
Yeah,
I'm not
it was
sure.
right.
135.
Wait, I think the settlement was 135 and then
Right.
we spent some of
spent
that
some
with
of
that
it,
lawsuit and everything.
Right, because you took and had the floor checked and see if it had to be redone. Because there was so much talk at the time that one side was saying, yeah, it's gonna be redone, we're gonna take and pour cement on top of the sand. Yes, and after all said and done, there was no need to do anything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Found money.
Yes.
Well, can that be used then for all these expenses that are going to be coming along for the fire department? These unexpected expenses?
The selectmen have taken and used some other money for, that they had to purchase some air
Air
packs.
tanks, yeah.
That was the ARPA money.
And the ladies auxiliary was talking about purchasing a couple new sets of gear.
Yeah, I think the way it was encumbered, that money has to be used for
Certain things that it was labeled for.
the town office complex and fire station, building needs or something like
Yeah.
that, so it's, yeah.
So it can only be used for the building,
Yeah,
fire
basically,
department
yeah.
building,
Or the
Or the town office.
but not the general government buildings?
No.
Either the fire station or the town office?
Yeah.
Well, there's certainly work that needs to be done in the town office. Can
That's,
that be used for that?
that's something that needs to, keeps getting thrown up in the air, and there's so many different possibilities of it that,
It's like a badminton game, we just keep batting it
Right,
back and
exactly.
forth and nobody
Yeah.
actually takes it and does anything.
The police department had some big expenses, but I guess he's got it under control.
That's what I was just thinking.
I guess the computer storage was an unexpected situation.
right.
Look at our percentages on the police department.
Well, the thing is,
Is that a little,
is that a little
I
bit,
think
It
the
looks a
math's
little
not
high.
quite adding up there.
well, it is, it's,
Just need to check the formula of Excel.
Yeah.
Exactly, because if you take and multiply what he spent by 4, he's still under his budget because you have the quarterly report, which is 3 months, so 4 times 3, yeah.
Mhm.
So he's under,
He's
his
got it
budget.
under control,
Yeah.
but
Alright, am I losing my mind then? Cause and I know it's been a long day, but, so look at capital expenditures. Spent $4,315, says he's $50
Under
over
where?
budget.
he
So
had
under
$50
what?
to spend.
Oh, I'm sorry, the budget was 50, okay, never mind. I'm good.
$4,250.
Yeah, I was reading that backwards, I thought he was over budget by 50, not by 4,000.
Well,
Yes,
the bottom line, he's not over budget, it's just so.
yeah.
They just checking.
Yeah,
the-
that was that big
police.
computer system he had to get to, because of the Hanover upgrade.
Who gets paid for the welfare department?
The Heather Hunter,
Oh, Heather does get.
and then she has an assistant, does she?
I'm still the deputy.
Oh, all right.
That's,
All right, you don't want the assistant name, so you took deputy.
It was deputy. It was deputy director, it was director and deputy director.
so you're assistant?
No, she's the deputy.
Do we know how much money is in the general fund now? Do we have a balance for that, quarterly balance for that?
I just signed that this morning, $819,000. Give or take.
Is that a good place to be at this point?
Yeah,
Is that comfortable?
yeah.
Oh, when I walked in and saw the folder was that thick, I was a little nervous.
so I was, see where you, knew,
Your kid was what?
give you some extra time to review it.
Thank you. Is this what we're gonna be doing on a quarterly basis,
Yeah.
right? Mhm. So is it possible to get these beforehand? Because it takes me a lot longer, I guess, since I'm not aware of, where money is coming and going yet.
Yes, I can get to
Oh,
you.
great, thank you, appreciate it.
Did you have anything else that's like kind of to you that you might need questions on?
No, I think basically we talked about it all. Thank you. I may have more, but when I get home. Can I call you?
Yes, you can. Just don't call too late.
So are we gonna also go through these, or is that necessary?
They're not really complete, so,
So is this what you were expecting, when you expected the departments to present
Yeah.
with?
more from the library than what they actually produced. And I spoke to George about that.
So, so everything else would be on the sheets that you
Right.
gave us?
Yeah.
Isn't this basically what you had asked George to give us?
Yeah, it has opening balances, receipts, expenses, ending balance for all 3 months. And you can see what the monies were for. On these, this is just a March bank statement. It doesn't tell where money came from or what the expenses were for.
But in good faith, they're just showing us the checking account statements so that we know what is there. Is that correct?
Well, the main is they're pretty basic where the money comes from in these 3 accounts. Ambulance comes from their insurance company.
And from private people. Private people get billed too. They get a bill for both, at least some people get a bill both for insurance and what they have to pay themselves.
Oh, what the insurance doesn't cover.
Well, it's like 2 separate charges or something. So it should be more than just what the insurance is, so there should be other monies that they're getting.
So we use a billing company. So this would be whatever payments came from the billing
billing.
company. So if the billing company is billing
Yeah.
those without insurance privately and those people are sending money to them, then
Right, it all goes
that's
to the
included
insurance
in it,
company.
yeah.
It's not going to come into the account as an individual.
That makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
So what is Humana? Humana sounds like it's an insurance company.
It is.
And claim payment. Is that an insurance company?
Yes.
HCC.
Claim payment insurance company.
Who's the company you use?
Okay.
Sorry.
And so where is the money then that private people are putting in?
It comes from the insurance company.
Or what's the name of the insurance company? Comes from the insurance? No, it
Is that,
doesn't come from the insurance
Yeah,
company.
is
The
that the
private
one?
people are paying it.
is that
They
It goes right to
pay,
the town.
no, they send it to the insurance company. The insurance company sends it to the town because it's got to go through their books before it can come to the town.
Individual payments don't go
Yeah.
to an insurance company.
Well, there's checks here, so would that be?
Those are withdrawals, not deposits. And we don't know what it's for. What was that for? What was the $3,300 for? We don't know. That's the point of this, that we can see what these things are for. These checks, $250, what was it for?
so very little of that comes through the selectman's office. I wanna say it's on their budget, when we put their budget together, isn't that the line that says CLIA? CLIA,
What's that?
that's the billing.
Right, yes.
There's no clear on here.
Put it in here.
Alright. And the billing company. CLIA is the insurance company or the billing company?
It's a building, combination
CLIA is
bill
the billing company. But we don't have any deposit from the billing company. This is all directly from the insurance company.
No, it is different, insurance billing is what it's listed as in their budget.
Right, yeah.
I don't have this year's. I taped one copy to the inside of the folder in the selectman's office for Sue.
And on the solid waste, we have deposits, but what were the deposits for? Where did the money come from?
Recycle of the metal and goes to the,
That's all recycling. So the
Yes.
money they get is all the recycling.
yes.
If you come in and get rid of 3 tires and
Right.
write them a check or anything,
Some of it's for the tires,
That's-
yeah, because the,
So some is for tires, some is for recycling,
yeah, right.
some would be for
The
metal.
refrigerators,
metals.
right,
yeah,
yep, anything that, when we take aluminum or
Right.
steel and
But
get
see,
paid for that.
that's what we should be seeing. How much came from recycling? How much came from tires? Right? We can't tell from this. And what did they buy for $1,000? Almost 3,000. What was that $3,000 for? We don't see that. That's what it should be showing, so we would know. That's what the information is for us to know.
Isn't that in the treasurer's report?
Well, at the end of the year, a year-end
But the
report,
treasurer doesn't give a report?
I don't think it gives a breakdown of it all.
Mhm.
This is just a bank statement. If the-
So it'd be helpful if the treasurer gave a report quarterly also?
Well, that's what I thought was supposed to be happening. It doesn't say that we're supposed to review bank statements, it says we're supposed to review the quarterly reports. And that, on the quarterly report, that's what you would see, where the money's coming from and what it's going for.
Just to clarify, Pam, you requested that, you put letters together stating that, but the budget committee never discussed it, voted on it, or put out any communication.
I
To
understand that, so I'm
town
surprised
council,
we have, I'm surprised we have any of this. But it's not something that the budget committee should need to ask for, it's something that we're supposed to be getting. So can the budget committee say that we want to have these reports, because the selectmen are saying that we didn't vote on it, so they're not gonna do it?
That's not at all what I said, don't twist my words, please.
what do you mean, the selectmen saying that we can't?
Pam's going on about the revolving accounts, that she wants the breakdown from the treasurer, what, you can see the bank statement, but you don't know specifically what was what, for what.
Right.
But-
And I just pointed out that she had come last year to the budget committee and said that she wanted that, she put it in writing to the budget committee
It
never
wasn't that I
discussed
wanted
it.
it, it's something we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, well, the budget committee never discussed it, or voted on it, or put out any formal communication to that effect to anybody
The
else.
problem going on right now is, we have a new treasurer,
Yes,
so things are in that process.
Oh, I
so-
didn't know we have a new treasurer. Is Dottie's not doing
Donnie
it?
resigned.
Oh, she did? Oh, I
Yes.
didn't know.
Yes,
Oh.
so that's why,
So it's Shannon Poitras.
yes,
So she's our full-time treasurer.
yes. So as time goes on and she becomes acquainted with what she has to do, then more of this information will become available.
I could certainly ask Sue to ask her, she sees her every week when she comes
Right,
in.
right, exactly.
But Cindy's point was that the budget committee never did anything to say that we wanted this information officially. The papers went around, but we never talked about it, we never voted on it. So can we talk about it to vote on it, that we do need this information?
Could we also maybe create a format that
I did
would be-
last year.
Oh, you did? Okay, so every department
That's what
should
this,
be.
that's what this is. That's that format.
Oh,
Opening balance, income, expenses, and closing balance.
okay, so
And I
this
did all
is-
that last year. I could add, I have a paper, I didn't bring it all tonight. But we've had it, and the selectmen got a copy.
Okay, so,
Right.
so the departments would have a format, so everything we're looking at would be uniform
Right.
between
Right,
departments,
so
which makes sense.
the format that you came up with, which is this here, all right? It doesn't it says transfer from account, all right? But we don't know how much money was in that account to begin with.
You don't need to know how much money was in the account.
Why
You don't know
don't
how much money
That's
was
right,
in these
right,
accounts.
right, isn't the starting balance?
Well, these, but these are their holdings
Yeah,
These
but
are the
isn't this the
CDs
starting
that they
balance though?
for their checking account. This is
Is
the
that what
checking.
you want?
No.
That's what you meant.
If she wants to know how much is in everybody's checking account or revolving account, the same goes for the library. Don't just give us transfer from the account number.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And
what, so
there's
what
nothing
number?
there saying how much is in that account.
Or where
So
they
that's
came
not
from.
the point.
Right.
The point
Oh,
is
I-
the checking accounts. The budget committee is responsible for the checking account. We're not responsible for the savings account.
So then, the ambulance account, you have no interest in, which you've been raising,
Their checking account. These are all checking accounts, not savings accounts. And that's what the budget committee is responsible for, checking accounts.
I'm seeing deposits, credits, checks, debits.
Mhm.
Right. These are checking accounts, monthly checking accounts. Not savings accounts.
Check.
We
Yeah,
don't
checks.
oversee
They're all
savings accounts.
checks, yep. And I know that those checks are written by the treasurer, signed by the treasurer. Payment request has to go through the selectman's office, signed off by us,
right?
before the treasurer cuts those checks. So it's not like the ambulance department has a checkbook that they're,
No, right. But it's just like with the library, they have account, these trusts, and they're taking money out of. We need to know how much they're taking out if they
It says
demolish.
how much they took out.
But we don't even know how much was in it to start.
But it's a savings account. The budget committee isn't responsible for savings accounts. We're responsible for the checking account. That's why the information is about the checking account. And the information here is about the checking account.
Right.
But it doesn't tell us what it is. I know that people get billed individually for the ambulance. If they go in the ambulance, they get a bill.
does it matter? Does it matter if it's an insurance payment or a payment direct from a patient?
Well, yes, because it should show in here. If money coming directly from a patient, then it shouldn't be under insurance companies.
This is the revolving account. It's every deposit that went into the revolving account. So it would include insurance and individual. And
But this,
the ambulance,
The
this
thing being-
shows the insurance companies. These are all insurance companies where
Yes,
the money is
And the
coming
way,
from.
I've heard it from other people, when the two bills come in, when they've been transported, one goes to the insurance company, their private insurance company paid. The one that is left over with that amount that they would like you to pay, that is sent right to the insurance company. The town's billing thing. And then
there's
they,
an ambulance meeting tomorrow. Let me see what I can find out.
that's why I heard it.
It doesn't sound right that private payments would be sent to an insurance company.
Why?
It's the
Because-
town doing the billing.
Right, but the thing being is, you as an individual, if you receive that, asking for the payment, you're not required to make that payment if you have the money.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. People who told me about that They paid the bill because they thought they had to pay it.
Right, but when they pay it,
But
it
now
goes,
we don't have to pay it, so
No.
I'll let them know.
no. So if you do pay it, it goes to the insurance company, because they're the ones that'll come after you, because I know people that they've done it to. They come back and said, all right, your insurance company paid X amount, yeah, this is still due, so we're coming after you for it.
Pam, just to
That's right.
clarify, there's a cost to the town for the ambulance to go.
Right.
Yes,
Regardless if
there
they just go and come back, they go and give you a Band-Aid, they take you to the hospital, there's a cost to the town.
Right.
So I would appreciate if you wouldn't tell people you don't have to pay that.
Well, he just said that that's a,
We will not go after someone who cannot pay their bill.
Right.
It's called soft billing. We will write those off at the end of the year or the end of 2 years or whenever they get around to asking us. But there's
where's
still a
that
cost
soft,
to the town.
but where's that soft billing amount? Does that come to the checking account or that comes directly to the town account?
Goes to the
Maybe.
checking account, to the ambulance revolving account.
Okay.
I can tell you that
So,
when
first
my husband
quarter,
went in the
none of that
ambulance, the insurance got a bill, we got a bill. We took the bill, checked with the insurance company, found out what they paid, and we wrote a check to the auxiliary to cover our part of it so that we knew it was going directly to take care of the funding.
The
In
auxiliary gets
hindsight, it
that
probably
money.
should have been made out to the town instead because the taxpayers covered the bill.
Where did you get the bill from? Did it come from the billing company?
Yes, and it was 2013, I don't remember, I'm sorry.
No, I was
Yeah,
interested
no.
in questioning you about that, I was just
Yeah.
interested in the process.
Yes, it came from whoever it is we contract with that does the
The soft
billing.
billing company.
Yeah, yeah. But I can get clarification on all this tomorrow. I will find answers to all those questions if I can.
So how are we gonna handle
What?
this whole thing?
We just look at it, things are on track.
Right.
Some things are over, but other things are under, so.
No, I
It
don't,
seems like
No,
we're
no,
pretty
I
well
mean-
in,
I mean, in
Okay.
terms of the format for the departments that you would like, we would like.
the budget committee hasn't voted on it,
I
so.
don't think the budget committee has to vote on it. If it's part of our duty, then it's part of our duty.
But Cindy said that we didn't talk about it, we didn't vote on it, and so
I'm
why do they have to do it?
George is the only one who really got and took the message to heart about this quarterly reporting of the revolving accounts. Is all I was saying. And if the budget committee wants people to do that, it needs to be communicated with them, not just said at a meeting. Not just said by one member of at a meeting, but, you know, that's what I was pointing out, was that,
Right.
It
And
didn't really go.
And I agree,
yeah.
but the point was we're supposed to be doing it, whether we vote on it or not, it's something we're supposed to be reviewing. But we should vote on it, if we want the town to do this, I guess.
Well, it seems like there has to be a level of communication to the departments telling them this is what we want. So should we compile?
Well, but the departments don't handle these accounts, the town treasurer handles all these accounts.
Okay, so it's just the library then that is the outlier?
No.
I'm confused.
Now that there is an understanding of what you're saying, next time I will have Sue, I will approach Sue and ask her for more information.
If this is satisfactory from the library, you have
We have the,
rec committee and ambulance, that
That's
the
all.
treasurer
Parks
handles,
and Rec.
the revolving account, so we
Parks
can
and Rec.
get that,
But
Parks and Rec.
it's not something that's so hard to, that Sue has a copy. She keeps a record of all these accounts on what the money is spent on. And so it's just a simple thing of asking Sue that on the quarterly reports, please take and give us a copy of her expenditures for those departments.
Well, and quarterly report is supposed to be information about all 3 months. This is just a March bank statement. It's not even January and February, it's only the March one.
So we have the expenditures, we don't have
Well, we
the
have the
income
deposits,
money, right?
we have the deposits,
Mhm.
and we can see here that they're all, since we talked about it, we can see that they're all from the insurance company for
Mhm.
this ambulance department.
Right,
But we don't know what it is that they've spent the money on. Parks and Rec, it's a little early, I guess, for Parks and Rec yet.
Yeah, well, all you're gonna see in Parks and Rec is donations and, well, this year, quite a few expenditures to go open.
Well, and.
We still haven't got a vet.
Solid waste.
well, I think
What's
you
that?
have,
No vet, didn't get a vet to do the rabies.
you still have 20 cents, I think, in the reserve fund.
And you get a lot more than that.
I think it was 20, or maybe it might even be 2 cents.
Because, I mean, Sue keeps a breakdown of all that, so we just take a simple ask and.
And I imagine Shannon's a bit more computer savvy too, so we.
Right, exactly. That's why I say, you get a new treasurer, and then also,
But also, we get the expenses from the town. These are what comes out of the general fund, but we don't have any income information for the general fund. So we need to have starting balances and ending balances for the general fund also, not just the expenses. I would think. I mean, this isn't a quarterly report, it's a quarterly report
You
of
want the-
expenses.
Tax collector to give you a quarterly report?
No,
Or
the
and
general-
the town
The
clerk?
general fund, this checking account is the general fund,
Right,
and that's what we need,
that's
the
where the
beginning
tax money
balance and
goes.
ending balance. Well, when the money goes in, then yes, that's what we would say, the tax, whatever. Where does the town get the money from? Taxes, it also gets money from, what, highway department gets,
the block grant.
block grant, those kinds of things. Right? This really is not a quarterly report, it's expenses, but not the income portion. Sorry.
Right now.
I just, all I can think of is that we're just not that modern.
No,
We're just-
Exactly.
You're not modern?
We're not that, no,
Well,
yeah,
you-
we're not. You're asking for people to put a lot of time and effort into compiling information that,
But it's all information that's there. The general fund, we must know what the balance in the general fund is.
I think we're doing too much nickel and diming there, come on. Do we have any further to go?
No, I think we're done.
Just got
We'll meet again in 3 months.
nomination for chair.
I'll go for it.
Somebody second our motion?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Nay.
You must do it in your sleep, Ed.
I do.
can I nominate Pam to be the secretary?
No. No, you make a good secretary if you're doing it.
Correct every set of minutes I put together. There's always corrections. Always.
Well, maybe there won't be this time.
It-
Maybe there won't be this time.
It'd be fine if they were typos.
I've been naughty. I'll shut my mouth, sorry.
Can we set our next meeting date?
Please.
What are you looking at? I don't have any calendars. All right, just tell me.
Oh, well.
It'll be June something, I guess.
um,
No,
It was
July.
because the quarter ends in June. Right. And today is the 11th, so July 11th falls on a Monday.
How convenient.
At 6 p.m.
I hate Mondays.
You have Mondays?
My husband has meetings every Monday night. This is like my, oh, watch a Cindy movie night.
It's my only free time.
No, it's fine.
Do you want to look at it?
Yeah. If that's what you want, I'll kill me that week.
Isn't that recreation week?
Well, it's the end of
Independence.
recreation week, and then Monday night would be budget, Tuesday night would be rec meeting, and then Thursday night would be
So,
cemetery.
I know it's a hell week for me too. I'm not happy about this week either.
But
Which day did you pick?
I haven't picked any, but it's just that,
What's up to you?
go the
Just so
following
we
week.
know in advance, the 18th?
Yeah,
Okay.
The 18th.
Do you want to do October too?
no, because,
Because that's budget, real crunch
yeah,
time.
that's when we start to, that's the other thing is, I'm gonna ask Terry Knowles' assistant to come up and explain gross basis budget, and I'm gonna ask all of the library, cemetery, the selectmen, and the budget committee to be presented, to be there, so that everybody understands it. I gave you all the packet from Terry Knowles back when we originally started going through it, so if you read them,
Have things changed since then? That, how many years ago? 7 years ago.
it hasn't changed,
Nothing's changed.
nothing's changed.
I thought DRA was gonna come. She's
No,
not
all,
DRA.
all DRA knows about it is how the figures get put into the MS7. And if I ask DRA to come up, you people are just gonna be put out into left field and not really know a lot about what she's saying, because she's not gonna get into the gross basis portion that much. She's gonna get into where the numbers go on the MS7 and all these other forms.
Well, the MS7 we got down, that's not a problem.
Yes, but she's not gonna take it, get into how money from trust funds are gonna be appropriated and how they can be spent and other. Whereas Terry Knowles' assistant, that's her specialty.
Do you have a date set for that?
No, I've gotta get in touch with them to,
Okay.
but,
Library trustees, cemetery trustees, board of selectmen, budget committee. That's it. Rec committee, ambulance. No one.
they don't need to,
Well, they all have gross basis.
they don't all have gross basis.
You know.
No. Because,
Maybe we could just put it out to invite all departments, and if they feel like it's pertinent to them.
we can, but I just say it for the record that, ambulance has nothing to do with gross basis, because it does not show on they do not.
I thought that's what the purpose of these reports were, because they are monies that they do have. They have a checking account.
But they are revolving accounts, they are not trust accounts.
No, they're not trust accounts, but they're still monies that need to be accounted for.
Yes, but not through the gross basis. Gross basis means that the cemeteries, all right, they get money for perpetual care. They have to figure out how much money that comes out of the trust funds. There's so many different trust funds, they gotta figure out, only so much from each trust fund can go toward perpetual care.
Right.
Library trustees, they have trust accounts. That money has to be accounted for. That's why I said this thing here that you drew up does not show how much money that the trustees have in each individual trust.
Well, we don't see the cemetery at all.
Yes, we do on the MS 9, 8, and 9.
But the cemeteries,
Well, we don't see here how they're spending that, what they've done with that money.
Well, that would come from the
all that
cemetery.
does is offset their budget. They do not know exactly how much money is going to be there until the end of the year when the trusts.
That's right.
So they do not touch that money. They have no access to that money, other than at the end of the year, that money is pulled out and deducts from the cemetery's budget. It's not like that, they take that and, they go buy a lawnmower with it, anything like that. They can't do that. That stays right in the budget, and it just cuts, what the town portion is reduced by whatever they're able to get.
But only a portion of their trust money is perpetual care. They have two other accounts which are not perpetual care.
No,
No,
incorrect.
It's all perpetual care? now?
It's all
been
perpetual care.
transferred over to perpetual care?
yes, there's never been,
There's nothing else.
no.
Yeah.
They had a checking account.
No, not checking accounts, they have trust accounts.
It's all perpetual care.
When did it all go to perpetual care?
It has been.
Yeah.
There are
No,
how many
here.
individual
Pine
accounts?
Grove Cemetery.
Plus
That's
the
nothing
Pine
to
Grove
do with
one?
perpetual
Like
care.
100 and something?
Pine Grove perpetual,
It does.
Pine Grove Cemetery has $35,000 in it.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with
Yes.
perpetual care.
All right, let me explain it to you, all right? Now, Pine Grove Cemetery, all the cemetery lots in there that are in there and that have been sold, those people have paid perpetual care. So it's not like Grafton Center that has 500 cemetery lots in there, but only 200 of them in there they can pay perpetual care. The other 300 pay nothing towards perpetual care.
But this says burial trust. Burial trust has nothing to do with perpetual care.
That is part of burial, perpetual care.
Okay, I believe you.
I would not lie.
Till next time.
I know, but I would tell you that it's any different if it was. Anybody, anything else?
Were we
Make a
supposed to
motion.
approve the minutes?
We had no minutes to approve.
Well, from January?
We approved, we had a quick meeting just to approve them, so.
Oh,
that-
okay.
We have minutes of that meeting?
What? Yes, we did.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
But he's on home
Which
late.
one say nay?